I know. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. Or if you're joining us from New Zealand, Dr. Harvey, happy Saturday to you because you're already well into the next day and on the weekend. So we hope you're enjoying it. I am Rachelle Pose, and I am thrilled to have my guest co-host here today who we saw a week ago. Welcome, Bonnie. How was your week?
Oh, my week was good. It's busy with half days and parent teacher conferences and the day off for Veterans Day. So yeah, it's the oddest feeling Friday. It feels kind of like Monday, and
I
I'm
know.
so glad I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it will be Saturday. So I have to say about that.
Yeah, I this week last week we had 3 days that were teacher days, and then the students only had 2 days. So it was a normal week. And then this week the students were all saying like, "Oh my gosh, this feels like the longest week ever." And they said, "Don't you feel the same way?" And I said, "Well, no, because I had a 5 day week last week and another 5 day week this week. But I was off all week too for some reason. I don't know why. Like even the kids were saying, "Well, I woke up today and I thought it was Wednesday, but it's Thursday." And I woke up today and I thought it was Saturday, but then I realized I had to come to school because it was Friday, and so it was kind of fun, but a busy week for sure. Lots of things going on and keeping busy, and it's amazing to think how fast this past week has gone because I just saw you, and as per I was discussing last week, is you beat me in a few more games of Word Feud. So
Are you? I think you're currently beating me right now.
am I? That'd be a first. So
Yeah,
yeah.
far by 46 points.
Yes, yes. I had a game. I played a word the other day, and I think I got 180 points. And the person sent a message and said, like, that's the highest number I've ever seen. And I said, well, one game, one time, I played a word, and I got 1,600 points. There was like no hope for the person playing against me. So, all right, before we bring our guest up, a real quick hello to Dr. Sarah. Good to have you join us, and Mel joining us from Colombia. And I guess it's time to bring our guest up, right?
Yeah, let's bring her in.
Okay. Do we want to give any hints about who our guest is?
Well, except for the ticker on the bottom of the screen, I have no
I
idea.
know. Yeah. Except for that, right? All right. So we're going to bring up our friend, the fabulous Laura Steinbrink. Hey, Laura.
Hey everyone.
Hi, Laura.
It's so good to have you join us today and get to see you. I mean, we talk often enough through Voxer, and
Yes.
luckily we got to meet in person last year. I can't say the same for Bonnie. Bonnie and I have yet to meet in person, but hopefully January, right? We'll see each other in Orlando and at FETC, so that'll be
Nice.
good. But to anybody who is maybe doesn't know Laura Steinbrink, you should, and you should follow her on Twitter. I was just talking about you. Oh goodness, the other day I was doing a webinar. Actually, a week ago, I was doing a webinar and was talking about the scavenger hunts and the Wakelet scavenger hunt that you did, and then just in other conferences. I'm like, you need to follow Laura Steinbrink. So for anybody who does not yet know you, let us know a little bit about you.
Awesome. Well, and Rochelle, we are going to meet this year also at TCEA again. So it's going to be super fun. If anyone's headed to TCEA, hope to see you there. This year, I'm in a new district, and I am one of the high school English teachers, and I also have a sports information class. So I went from 5 preps to 3, which is nice. I still, though, am the social media communications director for my former district. So that's fun. I do like managing social media. So that's super fun to do. And my son and husband's tech director. So that kind of makes it easier for me. I have an app channel on Zigazoo. So if your kids want to learn Spanish with me, get them on the Zigazoo app and look for Bienvenidos, the Spanish channel. That's yours truly, and I have a lot of fun doing that. And I just love everything EDU. I had a PD day today, so I'm like pumped to be on Thrive at 5.
Yeah, and I am glad that you are finally able to be here because I've wanted you to be
Yes,
on for so long. And so,
yes.
yeah, and the Zigazoo, for anybody who's not familiar, that is goodness, that was probably about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
that I discovered Zigazoo, and I love the name, and I love what it does for kids that they can create. It's like a mix of like an Instagram and a TikTok. But for anybody who's not familiar with Zigazoo, could you let them know what Zigazoo is?
Oh my gosh, that app is amazing. It is a safe place for kids to learn and connect with other kids and be social, even though they're maybe not actually social out in public, which during a pandemic has been awesome. They can get to know other kids, they can share in their learning. And it started out with primarily zoos, and you could be live with a zoo, not live, but it felt like live because they would do videos and give you a little bit of learning, and it has just exploded. LeBron James even has a channel on there. I'm just flabbergasted. I think Clifford the Big Red Dog, I don't remember. Somebody famous, maybe Clifford, is on there now, and I'm like, holy cow. It's super fun for kids, and they get to make their own little videos. They can also respond to videos, and some of those, and my age group that I primarily target is 5 to 9, but there's middle school on there as well. Teachers can use it for video response. The kids love it because it acts like Instagram and TikTok. It's 30 seconds of response time for a challenge question. It's just super fun. Kids love it.
I was like, wait, I'm muted. There's a surprise. Yeah, kids do love it, and I used it with my Spanish 2 students last year for something different because we had been using Flipgrid and Synth and all these other tools, and a lot of the students were like, "Are we going to try something else?" I'm like, yes, you do. And so they tried it, and I wasn't sure how they would feel about it, but they really liked it. Like a lot of them liked it better just because of the functionality of it and how easy it was, and then scrolling through. So definitely recommend checking it out. And so now I'm going to put my listening lips on, as Mel always says, and turn it over to Bonnie and shift the conversation just a little bit to what's on your mind.
Oh,
I
nice.
threw a
Well,
curveball.
yeah,
You
thanks.
did.
Because I think you know me well enough to know that it's always a risk when you ask me what's on my mind. So give me 5 seconds to say something that I won't have to try to rewind. That I can't rewind live. Um, what I've been thinking is about how, oh boy, I'm always thinking about students. I'm sorry, that's what I've got. I'm always trying to think about how I can engage kids in conversations with each other in the classroom. And so I'm wondering, I know you have a lot of great ideas for that, Laura, and I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot there. But what is the most recent thing you've tried to get kids talking to each other productively academically in your class?
Most recent. Okay. Like group work or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay. So I did try recently John Hattie's version of the jigsaw,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that actually worked really well. The only trouble that it, depending on what your lesson is, the kicker for John Hattie and that jigsaw is that that piece at the end where we tend to actually leave it out a lot
Mhm.
as educators for various reasons, not because we're bad educators. It's just that last piece that he said is the most critical is that product, what to do with that learning once they have it. And sometimes I'm just happy that they've discussed it, and I don't take it that one step further and have them do something with it. So
Mm.
without the do, it's not as effective. But I've discovered my students need help learning how to collaborate because they haven't had that opportunity as much as, you know, prior to COVID, where we were
Yeah.
good at collaboration. Now we're not as good at collaboration. We're more isolated. So I found that everything I do has to be done in steps and stages. And even with seniors, I'm like, no, we need to do the having to instruct on collaboration. because our seniors this year were the sophomore kids that only got half the year.
Yeah, it's really challenging, right? And I know that it's if there's any teacher that feels like it's just them that's having this difficulty, it's not. Kids are really
Everywhere.
they're so used to the hybrid learning and getting the checklist of things to do that if they don't immediately see what's next, they'll just go do what they would do if they were home and pick up Snapchat and just start entertaining themselves that way. They need the the real direct instruction that
They
I
do.
have been trying to move away from for a really long time. I think a lot of us have been, but it's kind of necessary right now.
Right, and direct instruction on working collaboratively. So, so if you've tried collaboration and you're like, this stinks, I can't do it. Oh no, it's the kids just need a little help. So
Yeah.
the best thing that has worked for me this year actually is Google Slides, where
Hmm.
I can have them duplicate a slide, like the template slide, and then they all put their answers, and then they can go back and look at each other's answers and we could talk about it. That has been a really super easy way to get that collaboration going. And I want to say hi to everybody that's out there. I saw your name scrolling up, like Dr. Harvey.
Yeah,
Oh,
and one
yeah. It's
and he said, "Oh snap!" And I will say I'm going to go back to what Bonnie said, and then you followed up with Laura too, and then it gave me an idea for something else we can talk about. But I feel like, and I might be the only person that feels this way, and I don't know if I really want to admit this, but we were even like vulnerability last week coming up too, but like starting the school year last year, we were fully virtual. And then we went through, hybrid. And then the last 9 weeks, students were mostly in school, but some chose to stay, pay no attention to the cat in the background. Some chose to stay virtual. And so it had been 2 years since I had like the normal start to a school year with kids in the classroom. And then I was on a part year sabbatical for like a 9-week period or so. And so anyway, at the start of the school year, I was struggling initially with like, I feel like I don't remember how to teach. And there was like this battle that I felt like I was doing with myself where I was like, because pre-pandemic, I had gotten rid of the rows of desks in my room and I had these little clusters and I was trying stations and I really wasn't great at it. I told Catlin Tucker, I was like, I should have read your book before I did the stations because it was just a mess. But I figured it out, which is what you have to do sometimes is take those
yeah.
risks. But then you come back into the classroom and all the kids are there and the desks are lined up in rows and you can't really have all those interactions. And so I was like torn between the giving them kind of like, okay, go work on this. I'm here if you need me because we're virtual, we're not in person, to, okay, we're here. And I feel like I'm talking at you the whole time. So it was kind of like a back and forth. And I'm like, well, what do I take from pre-school closures that was good, from last year virtual, which was good, and how do I make it work? So for the first like 4 weeks of the school year, I was really like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is this normal? And even the students were asking because we're using Teams and we're starting to use Schoology. So I'm like posting on Teams, posting on Schoology, but the kids are like, yeah, I don't look at that. I'm like, you need to look at one of them. Like, they're like, but we're in person. I go, I know, but I'm giving you the updates. So I still feel like we're all in some form juggling all these different things, but hopefully I'm not alone and feeling like, do I even know how to teach anymore? Like, what's the right way to do things?
Is
Yeah.
there a right way?
I don't know.
It's like there are lots of wrong ways,
Lots of wrong ways.
and there
Yeah.
are lots of right ways. So
That's true.
And the topic that I was going to slide into what we were discussing because we were talking about how you get kids to collaborate, and especially if you're in rows and they can't really interact too much, brings me to SEL, which has been, I mean, it's been an important topic for years. Years ago, somebody asked me what I was doing for SEL in my classroom, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" I didn't know. I knew, but I really didn't know. And so that's something that I've been working on learning more about. And surprisingly, have done a lot more presentations on in the last year and a half, just because I became intentional about opportunities for students in the classroom and for us as adults. It's important too, but how those tie into how to prepare students for the future. But turning it back over to our guest, Laura, you have a lot of experience with this, with presentations you've done, with the cupcakes that you've had, the activities. Speaking of cupcakes, the cupcakes today, I did want to talk about those cupcakes that the student made, but we can come back to that. But I'll toss it to you. Like, for anybody who is looking to, help students to learn to collaborate or to find ways for them to be social or to work through challenges or anything, what can you offer for recommendations? I'm not putting you on the spot.
Well, one of the easiest things I found to start embedding just as SEL skills is goal setting. And you can do that a variety of ways: academic goal setting, personal goal setting, short term, long term. There are so many ways to do that and get kids in the habit of doing that. And I always explain the why behind it, the brain science. This is why we do this. And I also kick it back to the Navy SEALs, who that's one of the things that they teach is goal setting. If it's good enough for the Navy SEALs, I figure it's good enough for the rest of us. But another thing I've noticed, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, this year is tougher on teachers than last year. So I think the cupcakes and cupcakes are very important for teachers this year. It has been crazy. We've had, in my new district, we had a brand new teacher who's struggling and wants to quit education. We have veteran teachers that are like, why am I teaching? And I know it's not just us. It's everywhere. I'm hearing that. Teachers that are close to retirement are like, how can I get out sooner? And teachers just starting, and then probably people in the middle, everybody's wondering, what in the world? I can't do this anymore. So if anybody out there listening, if you're struggling, we are here to give you a few tips if you need those too, because our kids are worth it. So we want you to stay in, and we want you to find that love of learning. So what should we talk about in that regard? Oh, right. The normals. That's exactly right, Jillian. We are very utterly exhausted. And things aren't normal because our students aren't normal. And so we are now still dealing with, a bunch of us, the COVID things, and now they're dumping all of the regular things back on there. And so it's almost twice the work, it seems, in my opinion. They have quit giving us slack, and I just love it when you're administration, and I love my administration, so it's not like my administration, but I love how we hear often where the top of our educational food chain says you need to do self-care, but here, do all of this on your own time. We're not going to give you any days off for that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Right?
So there's a couple of teachers that I connected with through an Onward book study. Remember that Aguilar, I can't remember her first name. I know I have her book probably on the wall behind me, but
Elena.
Elena, yeah, thank you. So it's a book, right? It's that thick. And I was talking to a teacher today who said that their administration said, "Oh, you need some time to reflect. Here, have this book," and just handed them the book with no support. Just like, here you go. Read this couple 400 pages or so in your spare time. When you're not trying to recover from the exhausting 70-hour school week you just had. Everyone has the best intentions, but just adding, and don't forget to take care of yourself, onto things isn't helping.
Right? That's exactly right. Here, take care of yourself, but I'm not going to give you any time to do it, and I'm not going to take anything off your plate. And that makes it very hard. So educators, you're going to have to do some of this. You're going to have to drink water, and you're going to have to make sleep a priority. I don't know how much more I can stress that, but dehydration, whether you think you're dehydrated or not, really messes with your system. That
always have 2 bottles nearby.
Yes. That emotional center of your brain called the amygdala needs water. It's going to regulate those emotions. You've got to drink water. I went from no hated water to drinking around 100 ounces a day. So if I can do it, Y'all can do it.
Yeah. And teachers have bladders the size of basketballs, so we can definitely do this.
Yes. And I realize that we don't get to go to the bathroom every time we want to.
Yeah.
But your bladder can be trained. Like mine is trained. It knows when it can go. And at first it's hard. You just need a hall buddy to watch your class.
Yeah.
Once you have that, then you can get trained and you can do this. But sleep deprivation is big. Having to pee all day long is a problem. I know, but I promise it'll get better once you get to train your body.
You
And it helps
know,
your mind.
somebody, I forget who asked me this. It was not a teacher, but somebody said, I was somewhere and I think they said like, oh, do you need to use the restroom? And because we have been drinking coffee or something, I was like, no, I'm fine. I go, I'm a teacher. I go all day. Like I'm good. Like I have stamina. I'm not worried about it. But those little things, like the one thing that you said too about sleep, I have seriously like every day I come home and at some point I lay down and go to sleep. And now I haven't had like one of those good like 3-hour naps because I have too many things to do. But well, actually, not when I first come home. I can't sleep because it gets dark at like 4:45 now. So I got to hurry up and go for that walk for the self-care. But I haven't watched Netflix in a couple of weeks because I was staying up until 1 o'clock watching Netflix, wondering why I'm so tired in the next school day. But I've been actually just going to sleep, drinking a lot more water, which is why I do actually have 2 bottles here. And at school, I have them too, and I'm a lot better about doing that. But it's there's a lot on our plates, and finding balance it's tough.
It's tough.
Like really tough. Even if we talk about it and we're like, yeah, we can name 15 things you could do to find balance, but like how many are we actually doing on our own? Not many.
And if you have Aaron's, do you have Aaron's book handy? That balancing the EDU, what's it called? Balancing the EDU.
Yeah.
My chapter in that, I kind of went, she said, a different direction. I'm not going to tell anybody how to find their balance, but I do want you to realize your balance isn't the same as my balance. And that's not the same as Bonnie's or Rachelle's. We all have our own balance. The point is for you and your lifestyle to find where that balance is. So, my family, we're on the road all the time. We like to go to my son's sporting events. We like to go to as many school events. We have outside events we do with our, hobbies and passions and things that we like to do. And we aren't home. And we're okay with that. But other people, that would drive them nuts. That's not the balance they need. So, take it for don't like compare. Find your own balance. Don't compare to other people. That's my advice on balance. And exercise. You did mention exercise. That is huge too.
And since you said more advice, I dropped the link to your blog. And if anybody is not following Laura yet, follow her and check out her blog because she has a very unique way when she writes the blogs. They're tied into lyrics of songs. And it's always fun to read through to see what the song is. And sometimes I don't know some of them. And then at the end, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. But you always offer so many great tips and tools and everything. So yeah,
and it's fun trying to figure out a song that goes with those. Oh, yes, Mel. And it's hard when you're a workaholic. Like, I don't know how Rachelle does it. I used to think I was busy, and then I met Rachelle. And now I'm like, not so busy compared to her. But my new job, I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to get to my new district because they start, like my day starts at 7 a.m. And it's a drive. So I have to allow an hour's drive. So I'm getting up at 4:30. I'm leaving at 5:30 because I want to be at work at 6:30 because I need a few minutes before I actually have to be on duty, right? Before my day starts because we have to be out in the hall supervising by 7 a.m. Our class starts at 7:30, our first class. So that sounds good. So it's very tough for me to get sleep, but I have to have that balance and figure out, okay, workaholic, yes, but whatever, it doesn't matter. 9 o'clock, I'm quitting. Whatever I got done, I got done. I quit. 9 o'clock. That way I can have a few minutes before I need to actually go to bed. Yes.
Oh, wait,
And
let's see here.
I found that I have to block time that is for me specifically and not allow anything to invade that time no matter what. And I thought it was going to be impossible, but I'm doing it and it feels great. And now people say, "Oh no, don't ask to do anything then because that's family time in the Nieves house." And wonderful. And there's plenty of other times that you can do things, so never feel guilty about setting time aside for
Right.
yourself, no
It's
matter what.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard for us educators because we do feel guilty, but
Mhm.
we have to, or like we will be on stress leave, or we will be walking out the door in the middle of November going, "See you later. I'm never coming back."
Yeah.
We don't want that. We want everybody to be able to manage the stress and still find that joy in learning and sharing it with others. So,
And one other thing before we dive into our game for the day,
woohoo!
it reminded me of when we had Weston and Molly Kieschnick on twice.
Mm.
And the first time, it's actually kind of funny. The first time when they were sitting in their living room, like the sun was coming in and it was on Weston and he was like burning up. But it makes me think of this, and that's how I remember it. But they were talking about the importance of setting boundaries and having balance and having good habits and making time for family and friends and, of course, yourself. And I can't remember if Molly or Weston said it first, but they said it both times that we talked. And it was basically like, you can't, like, don't set yourself on fire to keep everybody else warm. Like,
Mhm.
you have to, like,
Yeah.
can't do that. So I think of that, but then I think of like the sun beating down on Weston, and I'm sure it was very hot at that point. So if anybody wants to go back and watch that episode, it was earlier this year. But it's true. It's, again, as educators, I mean, people that the work that we do, it's hard to not feel like you have to do that. And then because we do that all day, then whenever we come home, like, it's just our nature to keep ourselves going. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah. I had a mini backfire with that today. So during my prep time, I was watching the Monterey Aquarium live cam of the
Mm.
jellyfish tank. And I thought, oh, on the projector, and I thought, oh, this is cool. I'll put this up for the kids. So I split the screen and I did half with their warm up and then half with the jellyfish cam. They could barely read their warm up, but I thought, you know what? It's okay. It's Friday afternoon. I'll just tell them what the warm up is. It's a couple of words. They'll be able to do it. And the whole district administrative team walked in, and here I am going, well, enjoy the jellyfish.
Oh my gosh.
That's all right.
Yeah, but you have to value the SEL too. So, and the kids really appreciated the jellyfish, so it was all right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny though. Like, timing is everything, right? Like, oh, wow. Okay. So we are going to, and anybody who is out there watching, thank you for joining us today. We are going to dive into a game. We play a lot of different games here. We've played Truth or Dare. We've played trivia games. We did Andrew Easton's like Zoom scavenger hunt, which is a lot of fun. But we're going to go with oh yeah, there's the wreath, the Dollar Tree wreath. We're going to go with a game of Would You Rather. So I will ask the questions. Bonnie and Laura can answer. And here we go. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
All right. Question 1. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future? I know that's a big gap, but like just 10 minutes or 150 years?
I'm going to go with 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
do a lot of driving.
Yeah.
If I could see 10 minutes in the future, I would know any catastrophes ahead of me and I
Yeah.
could then avoid them. So I'm going to go with that.
That's a good one.
And I guess it depends. If I could stay 150 years in the future, if I liked it, I would choose that. But the 10 minutes is probably more realistic.
Yeah. I kind of like the 10 minutes, but I would want to extend that a little bit to be like 45 minutes, because anytime I've been at like a doctor's office, like I would like to know like if I'll still be sitting there waiting to get in.
But
Because then I'll make that decision.
Do you
because I
constantly see 10 minutes in the future? So that could still help you at the doctor's office, maybe.
yeah, oh yeah, it might be a, you know what, it's probably just a one time. Like
Oh,
you got this one little peek. Here's your peek. Okay, done.
I would
Okay.
like it to be always, because then Bonnie would know when the administration's coming too.
That's right. No jellyfish. No jellyfish today.
No jellyfish.
Oh my gosh. Okay, question 2. Would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy, the ability to read minds?
I don't want to read minds. I teach teenagers.
Nope.
All right, so we're moving things with our
Mhm.
mind.
Yes.
Like I'm moving the vacuum and it's doing it. I'm moving
Yes.
everything out. Yeah, that'd be kind of great.
Yes.
All right.
My nose and the dishes are washed.
Yes.
Yes, that would be good. Okay, next question. I think I know the answer to. Well, I think I know what Laura might say, but we'll see. Would you rather? And you'll probably both know what I would say. Would you rather team up with Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Marvel. Captain Marvel, of course.
Who do you think I might pick?
I know you should pick, but you look Wonder Woman-ish.
If only. Bonnie, did you say Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Ooh, Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Not
let's
DC.
see.
Look at Michael Harvey over there, DC.
I know.
No, Marvel.
All right,
I am not a DC hater, but go ahead. Next question.
Oh, look, he said Marvel is so last year. And he agreed with me,
Until the
Wonder
next movie.
Woman.
How
All
is he?
right.
He's seeing into the future. What's
The
that?
Eternals are here, though.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. I'll think of 3 more.
Okay.
Would you rather would you rather have to sing along to every song that you hear, no matter where you are, or dance to every song that you hear, no matter where you are?
Sing.
I kind of do that anyway.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sorry.
I am rocking the boat. So
Yeah.
sing.
So you would both sing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
can't
sing.
dance.
Matched everything.
I
Laura.
can't dance, so
I know. You're like twinsies. I would choose dancing because that's something I do normally. Like we were at Dave and Buster's one time and I was just dancing through the middle because a good song came on and nobody needs to hear me sing ever. I do karaoke and that's about it. So anyway, so that's
Today, I actually, on top of the jellyfish, I was singing stylistics today a lot louder than I should have when the students were actually in the room. I felt kind of bad. I was writing on the board and screeching, trying to do Philip Bailey.
Oh my gosh.
Aw.
Okay, let me think here. This one's totally random because I'm thinking of Target. Would you, and we had this conversation today at school, would you rather buy 10 things that you don't need every time you go to the store, whether it's Target or when you go shopping, or always forget the one thing that you need, the reason that you went to the store? So you want to buy 10 things extra that you don't, or always forget one thing?
10 things extra. I live out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal if I forget what I need.
Oh, my mom said I can sing.
Aww.
I can lip sync. Bonnie, what did you say? Did you say 10 or 1?
I would go with the one thing because I do it anyway, and then I just go home and I order it on Amazon. So I fix that.
That's a good one. Yeah, Laura, you do live kind of far away from
everything.
Other thing. Okay, here's a total random one too. Would you rather have a pet koala bear or a pet elephant? I know they're total opposites.
Koala bear, less damage if they get mad at me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think it'd be tough to have all the eucalyptus for it though.
Bonnie is like a deep thinker. I'm just thinking about like,
what are you gonna feed the elephant?
Yeah.
That
Wow.
elephant's going to go find whatever it wants because it's just going to be busting up your house, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Although you can ride the elephant, not so much the koala.
To get that thing I forgot.
Okay, so there's some really funny comments. All right, Mel did it in 3 parts. So she put koala, no maintenance
No maintenance. Yes, I'm
needed,
with that.
Okay.
followed up by this one.
Oh.
Wow. Look at Harvey
Oh my
bringing
gosh.
it.
You know what? It's just because he's more awake than us right now because he's in the future.
Yes.
So he's had a good night's sleep and it's already like 9:30 in the morning for him, I think, I guess on Saturday. So
Yeah.
That's funny.
that's pretty funny.
Mhm.
All right, I'll ask you one more because I did say 3 more and I lost. And I'm going to ask you a question I've asked like 5 other people before. And Dr. Desiree Alexander, I forget her answer right now, but she had the greatest answer to this one. Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life? So you could pause or you could rewind.
I need a rewind because I mess up a lot.
Mhm.
And I would not mind to rewind and go back and do it again.
Yeah. And I was wishing for a rewind when you asked me what was on my mind. So they
Well, you know, Bonnie, like it does stream out to a lot of different places. But on YouTube, on the YouTube editor, I could like
Oh.
edit it, but no, it's okay. Be
No,
kind,
I mean,
rewind.
And
Me-
that's the best answer. Be kind, rewind. Yes, I need a
It
rewind.
is. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, one last thing, weekend goals. I'm going to say that we're going to be all in agreement, like rest, catch up. Mel says pause. That's
Pause,
good
yeah.
timing for that
Mhm.
because I'm not taking good at breaks, she said. But any goals or anything coming up this weekend that you want to share with anybody? Any words of inspiration or reminders?
Hmm.
Words of inspiration. Take a nap. Is that inspiring?
Yeah, I'm going to
Take a
go do
nap,
one as soon as we're done.
eat a
No,
cupcake, drink water.
those are all solid.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They
Solid
are.
right
They are
there.
solid.
I have things I got to get done this weekend, but a nap is right in there.
Hmm. Yeah. Prioritize that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put it on your to-do list if you guys make to-do lists. Ooh, it's
Mm,
cold here, so no gardening for me. Lots of reading. May or may not have time for Netflix.
mm.
Yeah.
Nice. Presenting at Ed Camp. Good job.
I don't know about that, but Bonnie, did you have weekend goals?
This is the second Sunday of the month, and every second Sunday I get together with my oldest friend since high school, and we go off and do things that, well, whatever the heck we want. So
Nice.
Fun.
that's the second Sunday. Yeah.
Nice.
Yay. All right. Well, I hope you have an awesome time. And speaking of Sunday, it's Melody McAllister's birthday on Sunday. So if she's watching, I'm
Yay,
gonna go outside. Oops, gonna go outside and I'm gonna put her address on this balloon
yes.
and then
And
I'm gonna
send
send it to Alaska.
yeah, just let it go and it'll just go there.
That
Oh gosh.
sounds scientifically sound right there.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to. That is actually for my birthday from 2 months ago, and the only reason it's still fitting is because it's like tied to the chair. So Mel says
Aw,
that's awesome, Bonnie. It is awesome. So Laura, thank you for joining us.
thank you for
Bonnie,
having me.
yeah, thank you for co-hosting with me today, and we'll have to have you back. And to everybody who's watching, thank you for joining in our fun today in our conversation. And we look forward to seeing you on Monday when special guest, should I say who the special guest is?
Give a teaser or go ahead and say it. Sure.
You know what? I will. I'll give a teaser. Well, I'll tell you, my co-host on Monday is Lainey, and the guest is very, let's see, very active in writing about and presenting on UDL, and also co-wrote a book with George Koros
I know who it is.
And more
I know who it
recently
is.
co-wrote with Catelyn Tucker. So just gonna
I
throw
know
that
who
out
it
there.
is.
And I got to hang out with both of them this summer. So looking forward to our guests
Awesome.
on Monday. So everybody have a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
And we will see you on Monday.
Bye,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye. Take care of
Bye.
yourself.
See ya.